Are you ready? Welcome to Almond Delights Reading Corner. Relax your spirit, relax your mind, relax your soul as we get into this book. The first book in our series will be The Epiphani, a love and gospel music novel by yours truly, Timothy Blaine. So head on over to Amazon.com to download your copy today. All the links will be down in the description bar. Please go support our authors and read along with the Almond Delights. Are you ready? Shh. Let's read. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Almond Delights Reading Corner with your girl, Miss Almond Brown, and we will be continuing to read The Epiphani by author Timothy Blaine. Hopefully you guys have caught up with the reading. This is our fifth read. We are on chapter 8. Let's recap what we read so far last week in chapters 6 and 7. So Joey, we know that Dallas and Ryan were split up by his mom. Ryan had to go back to his home state, I think it was New York, and his mom wants him to marry a woman to have a baby in order for him to get the $20 million inheritance that his grandparents left behind for him. So he had to write a letter to Dallas to let him know what was going on. And so he did leave his songs and everything to Dallas so he can record. And so Dallas and Joey are now about to go into the studio so that Joey can record his song. Well, so that Dallas can record his songs. And yeah, so we're going to pick up right there where we left off. Of course, Dallas is upset that he couldn't be with Ryan. And Ryan chose to potentially marry a woman, knowing that he's gay, but potentially marry a woman to have a child in order for him to get the inheritance. So y'all just think about it, honey. What would you do for $20 million? But we're on chapter 8. Hopefully you all have your books. If you don't have your books, just listen along. Chapter 8. Oh, disclaimer. There are some choice words in this book. And so, yeah, you know, Almond Brown, I will be saying those words, so do not be triggered by the words. Just read along with us and just laugh with me, okay? Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, yelled Joey from the control booth in Studio One. Now I understand, man. I'm seeing this thing so clearly. Not quite gospel, but close enough. This is all crossover material, brother. I told you he was good, Joey, said Dallas into the microphone hanging over his head. A lot of big gospel artists are doing inspirational cuts these days. He's good? Dallas, I need to see you in my office. Everybody else, it's a wrap. Great work. Be here at 7. First off, great session, man, exclaimed Joey, walking into his office ahead of Dallas, clutching several pages of paper. I'd call that a home run. And on your first time up to the plate. I'm very impressed with you, brother. Although, of course, I already knew you can sing. Pastor Brown left? We were in there 4.5 hours, man. I think Johnny snuck out about an hour ago. It's pretty amazing he could be away as long as he was. One Love is a huge organization in several locations. The man spends a lot of time in meetings. Johnny was just impressed as I was with what we heard in here today, man. And it's not just the songs, Dallas. You like the music then? The beat? The lyrics? Love songs to God's ears. And let's not minimize the vocals. Now I see why you guys were so confident about going into that studio up north. We've got a lot to talk about and a lot to get down on paper. If it's okay with you, brother, I'd like to meet with our attorneys first thing tomorrow morning. Man, that was quick. Won't I need to get a lawyer too? I mean, I Smart man. Of course you shouldn't be signing anything without counsel. We'll go over the contracts with the Stratton attorneys in the morning, then give you a few days. Won't we need to talk to Ryan? His letter and documents make pretty clear his intentions, Dallas, but of course those are things we'll talk about tomorrow. I just want you to understand, brother. There are two elements that need equal highlighting here. Yes, the songs are beautiful, all of them, and I hope to record them just the way they were intended, but it's also your voice, man. Dallas, I've never heard you sing like that. Thanks. Your musicians picked them right up, too. We've got some great talent here. By the time we're ready to record, you'll be working with the best of the best. It's going to be strange. Recording? Yes, I remember what it was like the first time. It's going to be strange taking credit for his work. We're going to have to arrange a conference call, just to make sure we're all on the same page. You should probably try to have a one-on-one with him before that, man. Nah, I'm cool. I think 7 unanswered messages is enough. I guess I can sit in on one conference call if you really need me to do that, Joey. You're not eating, Ryan? Said smug Colleen Prescott. Something wrong with your dinner? Actually, it's my stomach, said Ryan. I'm sure you can imagine how sick I must be feeling right now, Mother. Just hope I don't throw up all over the dainty little thing. Ryan, I am not putting up with any of this shit tonight, said Mr. Raymond Prescott. Now apologize. Apologize for what? Yelled Ryan. What the fuck did you expect, Dad? What are we supposed to do? Fall in love over dessert? This is crazy. I should go, said a startled young Heather Reynolds, placing her napkin over her pasta, then pushing her chair back. I'm sorry. I came here tonight, Ryan. I thought it would be nice to see you again. Please forgive my son's rudeness, Heather, said Colleen. This is so embarrassing for my husband and I. Believe me, we had no idea inviting one of his oldest friends to dinner would evoke such a dreadful reaction. Our driver will take you home immediately, of course. I'm so sorry having put you through this. I'll drive you, Heather, said Ryan, standing. She's right. It was wrong to put you through this. My parents owe you an apology as well. A big one. But let's not wait on it. He then took the beautiful young girl by the hand, and together they walked to the in-house elevator to the luxurious Park Avenue penthouse. I'm sorry about all of that, said Ryan as he held his arm up for a taxi. Let's just catch a cab. Really, Heather, you don't deserve being treated that way. You mean the part about being referred to as a dainty little thing? Replied Heather with a confused look on her face. All of it. How dare they bring you here like that? What was that supposed to be? Some kind of fucking audition? Well, you can expect your cell to be ringing at any second now. Can't have you sharing the details of this little adventure around town now, can we? Believe me, the last thing they want is to scare off the other candidates. What's going on, Ryan? It's a lot. Too much for a short taxi ride. Hey, how about we hang out a little? It's been a long time. And by the way, you look fantastic, Heather. Are you asking me out on a date, Ryan Prescott? I think that would make me complicit in my mother's sinister plot. Do you remember the first time? Of course. Every girl remembers her very first date. Junior year, Wicked, on Broadway. As I recall, I was cheated out of my first kiss. Yeah, let's go somewhere, Ryan. I want to hear all about San Francisco. I want to know every detail. Be careful what you wish for, my lady, said Ryan with a little chuckle. We still haven't eaten. I feel my appetite coming back. Things haven't got any easier between the two of you? My mother, the great appetite suppressant. I'm really sorry about being that way, Heather. You're not the least bit dainty looking. Heather's cell rang in her purse. Sorry, I thought I turned it off. That would be lovely, Colleen, quipped Ryan. You got to be kidding me, said Joey, laughing as Dallas told him the unedited version of the events that led up to his sudden departure from Nevada several years earlier. Chocolate covered cherry, he laughed harder. Have you no shame? I figured he'd bite on that one, said Dallas. Dude is hella nasty. I can't believe he was actually sending you cash, man. How long before he figured it out? Man, who does something like that, D? 3 months. I could have got a lot more if I didn't get sloppy towards the end. Later, I'll tell you about the cow and the kidney transplant, but not while you're driving, Dallas quipped. The two men were leaving the studio after another long day in rehearsals. They had been putting in 10 to 12-hour days since the morning the contracts had been signed. Joey had been pushing himself beyond what was healthy. So desperate was he to get the project up and running before he started chemotherapy at the end of the week. Dallas, I need to talk to you about something. Don't be getting any wild ideas, but tomorrow morning, Scratch Wilson is going to be sitting in with us. Another producer? Why? Asked Dallas. I thought we wanted to keep this thing low below the radar for now. I start chemo Friday morning. Damn. I can't put it off any longer. My doc says I should have started the day we got off the plane. You're going to be all right, Joey. I mean, the prostrate, I'll be fine. I just want to bring Scratch in. You know, get him familiar with the project. I don't want to work with anybody else, Joey, said Dallas, his eyes cloudy. This is our project, man. I came here with you, Joey. It's just a precaution. Look, I'll probably be right there with you the whole time, man. It's just that I don't know how sick this shit may make me. Scratch is one of the hottest producers in the industry right now. He's at the very top of his game, man, and he wants to work with you, D. My contract is with Stratton. We'll work out the details. You trust me, right? I'm driving you to and from every treatment or no deal. I'd like that, but I'm warning you, you put a scratch on one of my vets, you're going to be needing treatments yourself. Probably for concussions all upside your head, said Joey laughingly. Hey, watch out, yelled Dallas as Joey maneuvered the car around the first deep curve leading into the Hollywood Hills. Watch out! Oh, shh! Joey stepped hard on the brakes while swerving off the narrow road as best he could. Damn! He was out of the car. What was it? Asked Dallas, clicking on the emergency lights and the bright headlights. Raccoon? Squirt? As Joey stepped back into the low-setting car, he was holding something tiny and furry. Here we go again, said Edna. Here we go again, said Edna, carrying a handful of soiled paper towels in one hand, the roll and a bottle of 409 in the other, as she walked into the kitchen. Darn thing been pissing all night. Oh, Edna, you're going to scare him, said Joey, cuddling the little critter in his arms, rubbing his belly. Poor thing's probably traumatized. Good thing Dallas spotted him. What kind of dog don't even got enough sense to move out the way when he's almost killed? What kind he anyway? Looks a little like our Jimmy, doesn't he? Nope, don't look nothing like the Jimmy dog, she said, referring to the little canine Cairn Terrier the guys had once owned. Look like a mop with eyeballs, you ask me. Well, maybe it's just the eyes. Oh, look at him, Edna. He's smiling at you. Looks like he wants to call you mama. I ain't no dog's mama, she said, reaching over to scratch a little belly herself. Well, you best call the pound. See if anybody looking for him. I know he's come to strays, Joey White. Joey was looking deep into the terrier puppy's eyes when, either real or imagined, he heard it say, hee. Okay, let's try it again, said Scratch over the intercom. Dallas, pull back a little more. You don't have to push so hard at the beginning. Slow it down, man. You said you wanted more, said Dallas. More by the end of the song. You start hard at the beginning. Where you going to go, man? It's 101, Dallas. Build a song and listen to your percussion. Can we work on something else for a while? We've been on this thing for 3 hours, man. No, we can't. Now pick it up on 3. Pull back from the mic if you have to. I want less. Then more. And we won't be stopping until we get it right, Jordan. Dallas knew the man was right. Scratch Whistle was one of the best in the business. His ear for tone and pitch was nearly supernatural. A tall, good-looking Latino man in his early 30s, Scratch was a man who loved to work. He had produced his first hit gospel CD before finishing high school, his second and third while attending UCLA full-time, and now he was the man. He could well afford to use any recording studios in LA, but Joey and Dwayne had given him his first chance at making music. He was loyal, and the Stratton Studios were state-of-the-art. When Joey had originally pitched this new Stratton Records project to him, he told him, "No way can I start something new, man. I'm working around the clock on my own stuff." Then Joey played him some of the unedited tracks. He was in. "Hey, where you at?" yelled Dallas upon entering the house. "Hey, Joey." "Down here," answered Joey. He had been in bed and not feeling so well since Dallas had dropped him off after chemo around noon. "You get that ice cream?" "Pecan, chocolate, and banana split," said Dallas, walking into Joey's massive lower-level master bedroom. "Ben and Jerry's, right?" "Wrong." "I'm kidding. I know it's Haagen-Dazs or nothing at all with you. Edna's not here?" "Bible study. So how'd it go today?" "Same song over and over and over. Dude just doesn't let up." "Welcome to recording. I talked to Scratch a couple minutes ago. Say it's going great. He really likes you, D, and he loves both your voice and the music. Learn from him." "I'd rather be learning from you." "Learn from everybody, brother, and don't worry. I'll be back on that ass in a couple more weeks." "How you feeling?" "Not great. Not as bad as last night, though. Damn, I'll be glad when this shit is over, man. And I could be wrong, but I think all of this reality TV foolishness is making me even sicker, sucking the life right out of me. Plus, check out the eyebrows. I look like a fucking bald-headed vampire. Tell me something more about the work, man. I'm sick of talking about sickness. Edna's been yapping up sickness all day." "You think Scratch fucks around?" "Huh? Now where'd that come from?" "Oh no, please don't tell me you..." "No, I don't want him. Just curious." "He is fine as hell." "But nah, he's straight. Single now, but he's got a couple kids. I told him I didn't really have much to do with writing the songs." "And?" "He said he figured as much. You thought any more about the work? You thought any more about how to work the credits, Joey? I mean, there's no way I'm just taking credit for his work, man." Knock, knock. There was Edna standing in the threshold, holding what was probably the day's mail. "Hey, Edna," greeted Dallas. "How was church?" "Bible study, baby. Big difference," she answered. "Miss Jenny Wilkes running her mouth the whole time. We supposed to be studying the word. Woman needs a husband or a dog or a cat, something. How's the patient?" "Fine, as long as you keep it light," said Joey playfully. "Don't come here to talk about sickness and old people dying, Edna." "Baby, when you come in, I always check the little table by the front door," she said, holding out an envelope to Dallas. "That's where we put the mail. This one's for you. Had to sign for it." Dallas looked at the envelope, glanced at the return address, then ripped it open. "Something important?" "It's from Ryan. He wants me to pick him up at LAX tomorrow night." And scene. That was chapter 8 of the Epiphani, Writing and Singing. We will go on a brief intermission, and then we'll be back to read chapter 9. Are you ready? Welcome to Almond Delights Reading Corner. Relax your spirit, relax your mind, relax your soul as we get into this book. The first book in our series will be The Epiphani, a love and gospel music novel by yours truly, Timothy Blaine. So head on over to Amazon.com to download your copy today. All the links will be down in the description bar. Please go support our authors and read along with the Almond Delights. Are you ready? Shh. Let's read. Okay, we're back from our brief intermission. We're going to get on to chapter 9 so we can finish it because it's a little lengthy, but hopefully you guys are enjoying yourselves tonight. We're going to start chapter 9 and the title is My Name is Sky. I've missed you, Dallas, whispered Ryan into his ear as the two men held onto each other tightly. I've missed you so much. Dallas said nothing. He was unable to speak. It felt so good holding him. He'd given up on the idea that he'd ever touch this man again. There were so many reasons to be angry with him. Good reasons. Reasons any sane person would understand. But for the moment, he couldn't think of one of them. You do realize we're blocking the boarding ramp, said Ryan into his ear. At any second, we'll be hearing, get a fucking room. Oh, right. Sorry, said Dallas, turning away, quickly wiping a tear before it fell from his eye. Well, good to see you, brother, he said, taking one of Ryan's carry-ons and moving quickly toward escalators that would lead them to the baggage claim area where they'd be picked up by a Stratton driver. Place seems to be agreeing with you, said Ryan. You look great, Dallas. Whose idea was the hair? asked Dallas as they moved briskly through the massive airport. The last time he'd seen Ryan, he'd been wearing his near white mane in a ponytail reaching down into the lower part of his back. You hate it? Guess I'll just have to get used to it. I thought you loved your hair. It worked a lot better in the Hyatt. I need to look civilized when dealing with these dudes, or so says my father. How'd you get along with him, at least? Actually, we had quite a few good moments. My dad's a decent dude, and he's very smart, at least when it comes to business anyway. He suggested you cut off all your hair, and you did it? That doesn't sound like you, man. If I'm going to be getting involved in business, Dallas, I want to be taken seriously. What about the music, Ryan? My God, I hope you're not letting other people control your destiny. You said you never do that. We've got a lot to talk about, but let's not do it here, Dallas. Well, you can forget about the hotel. Joey insists I bring you straight up to the house. You can stay as long as you want. Yeah, that'd be great. How is he, Dallas? About 6 weeks into chemo. He's antsy as hell, ready to get back to work. You know, but he's doing it, Ryan. Joey's going to be all right. He's real excited about seeing you again. Looks like we're all right, Dallas. Joey White's the real deal. Man's exactly who he said he was up north, and he's really taking a liking to the music, just as you predicted. A liking? The man's in love, Ryan. The whole studio's gone ape shit over your songs, man. They even had to cancel a third of the rentals. We're the only ones using the main studio. They're your songs now, Dallas. I just came here to see you. Well, that's just bullshit, Ryan. I'm not putting my name on your work. That's just never going to happen. What's up with that anyway? Your inheritance contingent on you never writing music? I don't get it. I just thought they'd be a nice gift. After all, I wrote them for you. You mean a nice guilt offering? That's really pretty fucked up. Not returning any of my calls, Ryan? We've never even had an argument. I know. I'll try to explain later. You know I love you though, Dallas. It's why I've come here. Here's our car. Damn, you riding around in limousines? How big is this company anyway? It's a beautiful setup, Ryan. Man, I hope we can work together on this. This is our project, man. It's just what we talked about. I really have missed you, Dallas, said Ryan, looking down towards his pants zipper. Check out the equipment. Dallas blushed as he helped the driver with Ryan's luggage. You don't have to lie, said Joey, sitting up as Ryan and Dallas walked into his bedroom. He had intended to be up and fully dressed to greet and welcome Ryan, but instead had dozed off until he heard footsteps on the staircase. I know I look like shit. You look fine, man, said Ryan, taking the man's hand. My father went through the same thing a few years back. I say you're holding up very well. Only a couple more weeks, right? If only it were that simple, said Joey. But yes, just 2 more weeks of chemo. Bless God. What do you think of this new look, Joey? Asked Dallas, lightly touching Ryan's short, stylish cut hair. I hardly recognized him. Thought I was being grabbed by a total stranger. Right, said Ryan. Thanks for putting me up, Joey. This is one gorgeous home, man. Thank you, and my pleasure. Well, I'm feeling a little like an invalid here. Why don't you guys go get settled in or make out or something? Edna'll be right back. Had to run down for some special cooking sherry. She's making something really nice tonight. Hope you're not an alcoholic, Ryan. Edna's real liberal when it comes to the sherry, said Dallas with a laugh. Come on, man. Let's get you unpacked. I can't believe you're really here. As the 2 beautiful young people crossed the door behind them, Joey rolled over and onto the floor beside the bed. Long before he learned to speak whole words, he had learned to pray in this way. He mostly prayed for big Christmas presents and extravagant birthday gifts back in the beginning. As the years progressed, his prayers were dominated by a request for love to visit his family house, and then that his father wouldn't leave. As Joey hit his teens, he began to realize that every day was a good day to pray. Amen. That every day held its own challenges, and that every day, someone he knew personally was hurting. Now Joey prayed for young Dallas. He knew the man was in love. He prayed that his heart not be broken. And he prayed for Ryan Prescott. Such talent was not given to be hidden under a table. He prayed that his passion be reignited and then used for the glory of God. Joey prayed that love prevail, then reign over the lives of these 2 beautiful men. "Aw, he's so cute," said Ryan, rubbing the tiny terrier's puppy's belly. "What's his name?" "Monkey," said Dallas, refolding Ryan's t-shirts before putting them away. He was almost a monkey sandwich if Joey's car didn't sit so low. "Oh, he doesn't look like a monkey." Wait till he starts laughing. "Speaking of names," said Ryan, stretching his long arms across the queen-size bed. The little monkey came laying on his chest. "Look at me a minute, Dallas. If you didn't know my name, let's say we both had amnesia and had to give each other names, what name would you give me?" "What's this, some New York City game?" "Let's say it is. Be a sport. What would you call me?" "I don't know, but when I met you, I kept wanting to call you Sky." "Sky? Your eyes, the very palest of blues? Yes, your eyes are like the sky, Ryan." "Okay, what else?" "What's going on here, Ryan?" "Well, if you won't use your name, and I have my reasons for not using my own, look, it's not a big complicated thing, man. I just like the idea of keeping my life on the East Coast and my life here with you, the music separate. A pseudonym? Come on, man. Name me. My name is Sky. Scraper? Well, you are kind of tall, and Dallas, I'm serious. You want me to keep writing for you guys? I'm going to need a name. What? Keep writing? Oh, hell yeah. So your name is Skylar Davenport. That's it. Skylar Davenport, affectionately known as Sky. I like it. Now, aren't you the problem solver? I'm sure that will suit you well in business. So what's going to happen now, Ryan? You mean you don't know? Said Ryan, removing his shirt and then his pants and underwear. Okay. Okay, let's try again, yelled Scratch over the intercom. Sopranos, bring it up. Drown them out on heaven, now from the top. He then removed his headset. Okay, give it to me straight. It's cool. The arrangement is nice. Voices and strings are on point, said Sky. I just don't think any of it is necessary. Any of it? It's a love song from a guy to his dead mother, man. It's a solitary, sad song. All these instruments and voices are turning it into something else. I just don't think it works. We don't do country and western here, brother. You want to try it without the girls? Cool if I use one of these, said Sky, pointed through the glass partition which divided the soundboards from the artist to a corner housing several acoustic... Child. Cool if I use one of those, said Sky, pointing through the glass partition which divided the soundboards from the artist to a corner housing several acoustic and electric guitars. He then stepped from the control room. Dallas, just you and me on this one. Right? Sky? What? Relax. I just want everybody to hear it the way it was written. Damn, I just wish I could have been there, said Joey, sitting up in his hospital bed. Scratch says I missed something truly magical today. Ryan, Sky was great, man, said Dallas, and Scratch loves him. I mean, they work well together. So what's going on? PSA is good. That's the main thing. No need for surgery. I got to tell you, brother, I was scared as hell about that. They're sure? These people are the very best at what they do, man. I could be in complete remission in a couple more months, Dallas. That makes me very happy. I know that, brother. You've been a great friend to me, Dallas. You brought me back to life. I'd say Dr. Levi, the drugs, and the cardiologist here have a lot more to do with that. D, I want to talk to you about something. I think it's time you knew a little more about what was really going on in San Francisco. I mean, about why I was there in the first place. Okay. I was not planning on coming back here. To the hospital? That too. Listen, what I'm trying to tell you is that I had given up on living. I went to San Francisco to die. You mean? Yes. I had every intention on ending my life. The day I nearly knocked you down coming out of that cab, I was leaving the psychiatrist's office. A few hours before that, I was standing on Pier 14 with weights strapped around my wrists and ankles. Why are you telling me this shit now, Joey? It makes you uncomfortable? Fuck yeah. It makes me uncomfortable. You're telling me you're going to kill yourself over this bullshit? So you wouldn't be sick a few fucking months? The cancer was the only part of it. Actually, it was the weakest link in the chain that brought me to that godforsaken night on the pier. I just got the news on the wrong day, man. I was already struggling to stay afloat emotionally. Had been for a very long time. Dwayne, I loved him, Dallas. I just couldn't move on. I couldn't do anything, man. It was like that lunatic had killed both of us, except I was still walking around. I know you've been very worried about this, Joey, as anybody would be, but you haven't seemed like a depressed person to me, at least not like that. That's what I'm talking about, D. Since we hooked up, things have been different. It's like you've blown some air back into me. Something happened in San Francisco. And you've given me a whole new life. And now Sky is here as well. Pastor Brown seems very convinced that God and or his angels are at work here. Yeah, we've been talking about that. He told me that he told you about Ohio. About the accident. You had the same perception. You believe something spiritual happened to Dwayne while he was unconscious? I know it did. I saw it with my own eyes. Or at least I saw the change in him. Dallas, I've lived with that man for close to 20 years at that point. Dwayne was not a man born or nurtured into having a lot of ambition or drive. In fact, at the time we met, he was perfectly content with working in a men's department at the Broadway department store. He was a talented man, wrote beautiful lyrics, even went out on the road as a backup singer with me for a while, but somehow that man was just never able to find his groove. Until the accident, maybe you would have just had to been there and to know the man the way Johnny and I did. But yes, something changed in him while he was unconscious. And then things just started happening all around us. The One Love ministry exploded almost immediately into what it is today. My career went through a metamorphosis, and later Dwayne created Stratton Records. I thought that was both of you. It was his idea. Everything was his idea, man. And it all started the day he sat up on that hospital bed in Cincinnati and started talking. So, you're with Pastor Brown on the supernatural part of this? Man, I don't even remember how I got out that pier in San Francisco that night. Yet, look at all that's happening since then. Hard to believe I was hustling dime bags on Pole Street just a few months ago. Johnny is right. God is in this thing for whatever reason. Mark my words and write them down if you want. Hey, that's the same thing he said. Family, you'll be talking like us too. You're part of us now, D. How's that little monkey doing? He getting along with Petey? Pretty much stays on your pillow or the window seat in your room. So, are we out of here today, Joey? That would be a yes, said Dr. Levi, walking into the room carrying Joey's chart. In fact, you can go ahead and get dressed, healthy man. All your numbers are good, Joey. You're responding beautifully. The church was huge, a massive modern architectural gem set back on 2 acres of concrete. What impressed both Dallas and Sky immediately was that all 4 of the parking lots that enveloped the beautiful steel and glass structure appeared full and cars were still coming. Wow, said Dallas. Pastor Brown must be some preacher. Believe it or not, said Joey, a little proud in his voice, this all started in a little storefront over on the south side. Pastor Brown started the church? Asked Sky. Nah, Johnny was in prison when another preacher, Pastor Mike, opened the doors of the first location. As it turned out, Pastor Mike had been a reformed and repentant criminal himself. He brought his outreach ministry in through the gates of CMC, that's California Men's Colony in San Luis Obispo, twice a month. Well, the 2 men hit it off. Johnny got reintroduced to the gospel, and when he got released, he went to work for the church, at first as a janitor. The janitor, said Dallas. That's hard to imagine, if I ever met a born leader. It was a pivotal time for the man, said Joey. He came to live with Dwayne and me when he got out. And a few months later, Johnny announced that he was going to seminary. Jailhouse to the church house, said Dallas. I always wondered about that. I mean, about the staying power. Guess that makes the pastor a living testimony. Jesus. Johnny is a good brother, and an anointed preacher, said Joey. But you'll see. Bet you 100, no, make that 1,000, you'll be joining this church. No bet, I already see. We had a couple of really good talks, Joey. I like Pastor Cindy, too. I'm glad you're here, Sky, said Joey. This is going to be wonderful. This, the church, well, this is why we do it, man. At the direction of a white-jacketed usher, Sky made an immediate right after the three men came through the front doors of the church. His mission to locate the men's room and quit. First time in the church as a couple, asked Joey. We're not that, man, said Dallas. Could have fooled me. Why do you guys say what you don't mean? What do you mean? Come on, brother. We're all under the same roof. I hear the way you talk to each other. Maybe I'm just old, but it sure sounds like love to me. Well, you're not old, Joey, said Dallas with a little chuckle. Nobody's going to argue with that. But even my young ears are hearing it, seeing it, and feeling it that way. He's just not ready to make it real, man. I told you before, this thing between Ryan, excuse me, Skylar Davenport, and me is very complicated. You both use that word a lot, and yet he's here with you, in L.A. I know he loves me, Joey, and at least 3/4 of him knows that too. It's just that last quarter. You guys talking about me? Asked Sky, returning to join them before being seated. This place must have cost a fortune. There is stained glass in the restroom. Money draws money, man, said Joey. Everybody that supports the church owns a piece of it, brother. Think of it as a thriving community's living room. A smiling teenage usher walked over. Hey, Joey. Good to see you, man. What's up, Roosevelt? Said Joey, beaming. These are new friends. Meet Sky and Dallas. Nice to meet you guys, said Roosevelt, shaking both men's hands vigorously. Pastor wants y'all in the 4th row on the far right side. Follow me. Special seats, said Dallas. Don't you have an area? Nah, don't get nervous on me, D, said Joey. Trust me, I know exactly what I'm doing. I've been doing this a long time. Huh? What? Hey, there's Scratch, said Sky. And isn't that Gloria? And oh, the backup, said Dallas, taking note of a seat on the aisle marked Singers in bold letters against white paper, and just below the marker's heading, Dallas Jordan. Come on, Joey. I can't just... Yes, you can, said Joey, taking the seat. Look, I'm sorry for springing this on you, D. This is just part of the process. You want me to sing? Now? Actually, you're right up after announcements, said Joey. Look, this is the kind of thing that would be happening on a regular basis after the first of many CDs drop. We, the whole company, want to hear you unrehearsed, unprepared, natural. If I didn't know you could ace this, Dallas, you know I wouldn't put you up there before all these people. Trust me, man, your career is kicking off today. No pressure, right? Said Dallas. That's why I'm only letting you feel it for a few short minutes, Joey said. Our musicians are in place. The girls will walk just in front of you. Then just take a deep breath and make it happen, brother. There must be 5,000 people here, said Sky. Give them a slice of heaven, Dallas. I hope heaven is the song, Joey, said Dallas. Of course, in the words of the legendary Ray Charles, make it do what it do, baby. Okay, said Gloria, speaking in a loud whisper so the 4 backup singers seated to Joey's right would hear her as well. As soon as the woman at the mic turns away from it, that's our cue. Please, everybody move quickly to the stage, but don't trip or be distracted. Y'all know how tight the schedule is here. Joey, those are TV cameras in the balcony. Those are for the broadcast, said Joey. Nothing for us to worry about. They only shoot Pastor's sermon. Okay, that's us, said Gloria, as Ryan, Joey, and she stepped briefly into the aisle to allow the other singers to join Dallas as he made his way to the huge stage to perform what was to become his first platinum hit song, Heaven. Hey, wake up, whispered Sky, as he vigorously shook a sounding, sleeping Dallas awake. Wake up, man. It's Joey. Something's wrong. What? Exclaimed Dallas, snapping awake and jumping into the cold hardwood floor. What's going on? Is he okay? What? He's okay. I mean, he's not sick or anything. Huh? Sky, what the fuck are you? Sit down a minute, Dallas, and keep your voice down. What? Just listen what I have to say, would you? Said Sky in a soft, conspiratorial tone. I couldn't sleep, up tossing and turning all night. No doubt because I'm leaving tomorrow. I've got so much on my mind, man. This better be good, Sky. It's almost 4 in the morning, and I've got to be up. Anyway, I couldn't sleep, so I figured I'd have a little chamomile. When I was almost at the kitchen, I heard voices. I figured that maybe Joey had gotten lucky, so I turned to go back, but then my curiosity got the best of me. I've never seen him so much as look at a guy like, well, you know what I mean. I just wanted to see what the dude looked like, you know. I can't believe you woke me up for this. I peeked in while they were still talking. So, what did he look like? Dallas, there was no one else in there. I'm telling you, there was no one else in that kitchen. Just Joey and the monkey. So the man was talking to his dog. That's why you woke me up at 4 o'clock in the damn morning? I can't believe you, dude. Newsflash, everybody talks to their damn dog. Good night, Sky. You're not hearing what I'm saying, Dallas. I heard 2 voices in conversation. How many Ambien did you take tonight? Huh? I took 1 like I always take. You think I'm hallucinating? Thanks a lot, Dallas. You said you couldn't sleep. Maybe you woke up kind of groggy. Maybe you took another one, man. It happens. Then why aren't I knocked out now? You can be a real asshole at times. You know that? Shh. Lower your voice. We don't want the talking puppy to hear us talking about him. Think about getting out that Ambien, Sky. Good night. Asshole, said Sky, pulling the bed covers over his head. And scene. That is the end of chapter 9. So we see now that Ryan and Dallas are living with Joey in the house, and Ryan stumbled upon Joey, presumably talking to the Epiphani, is what I'm guessing. Since he heard 2 voices, I'm thinking he's talking to, probably talking to either the Chinese driver, the one that's always laughing and saying, hee 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 hee. The dog actually said that, like he heard the dog, which they call Monkey. He heard the dog laughing like, hee hee hee, like the Chinese driver did. So I'm thinking that, you know, the Epiphani has come to talk to Joey, I guess, about what's going on now. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to come up here, y'all know I do this at the end for anybody that wants to, child, excuse these notifications, honey. Anybody that wants to come up here and discuss the book, what you guys heard, how you guys feel about the book, how you feel about what's going on with Dallas and Ryan. Do you guys think that Ryan eventually will be coming back? Because he has to leave now. You know, he had his little fun with Dallas, but we know he has to go back to New York to be with his mom, since his mom wants him to marry a woman and have a baby. But I mean, it is $20 million. So who's to say they have to stay married or together long before he can get the money That'd be so messed up. If they tell him that the baby got to be 5 years old before he can get the money. That'll suck, because then he has to get married to the lady. Then he has to get her pregnant, and it's not guaranteed that she will even get pregnant right away. And then what if they say you have to wait until the baby turns 5? So that could be between 5 and 7 years that he has to stay with this woman when he really wants to be with a man, which is Dallas. That would suck. That would suck horribly. But for $20 million, I'm sure it's more stipulations on that other than him just marrying a woman and having a child and having an heir. So that will suck. But I want to thank everyone for joining me. If you guys, I'm going to wait a few more seconds. If anybody wants to click the link to come on here to StreamYard to discuss the book, you can. Otherwise, like I said, I thank everybody for joining us. The ones that did drop down in the congregation. Also the ones that are up there in the sky or in the choir stand that was listening. I appreciate you guys. Thank you to the ones that are at work listening. The ones that are at home listening. And I'm going to do a little bit of church announcements. If you guys would like to, if you're listening to the replay and you want to hear this again, you can check out my podcast. It's anchor.fm/Almond Brown 09. That's ANCHOR.F, the letter F as in Frank, M as in Mike, /Almond Brown 09. You guys can follow me on Instagram at instagram.com/Almond Brown 09. If you guys would like to email me, if you have an author that would not mind their book being read aloud online, you can email me at almondbrown09@gmail.com and let me know so I can be in correspondence with the author. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wiley. But yeah. This is a good read. It's still juicy. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till every Monday. It's like, okay, I want to see what else is going to happen, because I don't read the book until I get here with you guys. So I don't know what's going on until I come back here to speak with everyone else. But I thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. If you're watching on the replay, please hit the like button, while you're listening. And if you can, please go back and leave a comment on the video. Let me know how you guys like it. If you decided that you didn't want to drop down during the live, you can go back and leave a comment on the video. I would appreciate it. And if you do not see, you can check my community wall. The link will be there. Also for you to come back to the video if it's not live by the time how YouTube does. But I appreciate everybody for joining me, and join me again next week for another read at Almond Delights Reading Corner, where we come over here and just read the Epiphani, honey, a love and gospel music novel, honey, with yours truly, Timothy Blaine. But thank you guys for joining me. If you're coming in late, please catch the replay. You will not want to miss it. But I love you guys with the love of God, and there is nothing you can do about it. Thank you guys. Talk to you later. Thank you all for joining another episode of Almond Delights Reading Corner. I pray that you enjoyed yourself and you're relaxed in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit. Come back and join us again next week as we continue our reading. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Be blessed and enjoy your evening.